Hello and welcome to the Vale This Week from Bro Radio. On tonight's programme, we'll hear from a campaign group concerned about potential future developments at Waycock Cross in Barry and what they feel is a lack of time to respond effectively to the Vale of Glamorgan Council's replacement local development plan. We'll reflect on Barry Town United's first major cup win in 26 years after they beat two-time consecutive winners, the New Saints, in the MG Cup final on Saturday. We talk Waggy Walks with an event taking place on Sunday on Barry Island to support the work of charity Hope Rescue. And if you love Doctor Who or Red Dwarf, you're going to want to hear about Barry Card and Collecticon. We'll catch up with one of its organisers, Glyn, ahead of the event taking place this May. All that plus a roundup of the local sport with Jamie and a look at some dates for your diary with Gareth Richards. But first, a group of residents in the Waycock Cross area of Barry have begun a series of protests against the potential for future developments in the area. A number of sites have been included in the Vale of Glamorgan Council's replacement local development plan, which will shape future developments in the county until 2036. A consultation remains open on the RLDP until the 11th of March, with residents being able to have their say, and whilst the inclusion of a site in the candidate site register does not infer that it will be allocated within the emerging RLDP, nor imply a preference of the local planning authority regarding its merits, residents in the area say they are concerned about a potential development and the impacts it could have on local infrastructure. Jason Vincent Newson is a resident in the Waycock Cross area and is part of the Friends of Weycock group, who are concerned about candidate sites around the roundabout, which they feel could have a detrimental impact on an already struggling road network in the area. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good to speak to you.
In the replacement local development plan, which is currently out for consultation, there's a number of sites that have been identified as potential candidate sites where landowners, developers and other interested parties have been invited to nominate sites essentially at an earlier date. A number of those listed on those are near Port Road, 6 of which kind of around the Waycock Cross area and around the roundabout there. So tell us about why these particular sites have raised concerns for you and other local residents in the area.
I think the most obvious one is the traffic congestion and pollution. The junction is already running close at capacity at certain times of day. The strategic transport assessments that have already been done, indicate that in the data. If you look at the data in those assessments, it's quite obvious that there isn't much capacity increase in that junction, in that roundabout. Adding 400 houses, nearly 400 houses on the Waycock Cross greenfield site is going to cause significant increase in traffic, in all directions through that roundabout, particularly when you factor into the situation that the plan is to add a traffic light signal junction also for entry and exit to the site. So not only will that impact on traffic flow on Port Road West, but inevitably it'll affect traffic flow, going all the way up towards Top Road in Barry, Tesco, and coming back in the other direction, and also traffic coming in and out of Barry, going up and down Pontypridd Road. The other, big issue in terms of transport, which will make those traffic congestion concerns even worse, is, part of all new developments should be active travel provision. So that's encouraging people to walk and cycle. Now, if you look at the reports that the council have provided already around active travel, there's very optimistic language in there talking about people cycling and walking to and from Barry train station. For those people who know Barry at all, you'll know that the walk from Barry train station up to Waycock Cross is not an easy one, to say the least. It's a good half an hour to 40 minutes. Most of it is steep uphill. It's not particularly easy to cycle either, in either direction. So for the council to use that as a kind of an argument to offset some of the potential increased traffic, I think is very unfair and almost disingenuous. So in terms of transport and traffic congestion, I think it's significant concern for all residents. The other things, obviously, things like loss of the green wedge. That site has been a protected site in terms of building upon it for many years now. There's been many times when developers have tried to build on that land and it's been pushed back. The last time was 10 years ago. Interestingly, the very same Vale Planning Department that are currently proposing to build 400 houses on there, at the last time it was tried to build, and that was less than 200 houses. The Vale Council were dead against it, and they came up with a list of very, very good reasons, some of which I've just mentioned, like transport, traffic congestion, impacts on the environment, and so on. Those reasons, as far as we're concerned, none of the reasons have changed. They're still just as valid now as they were 10 years ago, if not more so.
And we should point out at this stage, within the consultation, it states that whilst the sites are listed, it doesn't mean that naturally there's going to be development there. And it also says the council consider they might not be suitable for allocation. What conversations have you had as a group so far with local councillors and the council itself regarding some of these concerns and whether they are suitable?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, quite a few of the residents have been participants in recent council meetings. Obviously, we've been very keen to keep abreast of what's happening in terms of developments and the consultation processes that have gone on. So several people have spoken in person at the council meetings where we've been allowed to, and made these representations. We've also provided written representations of these concerns. Interestingly, in the last council meeting, it was picked up by several of the councillors who are against the proposed development, that many valid concerns have been raised by us as residents, but those councillors themselves didn't feel that they'd been addressed by the council at all in their response. And obviously that resonates with our feeling that we don't feel that our concerns have been listened to.
And you've mentioned previously that you've worked to engage with the council over the potential for development on these locations, but now you feel there isn't enough time to respond to this consultation.
Yeah, that's right, because in our previous representations that we made to the council, we were told to wait for this consultation period now so that we could have visibility of all the detailed reports and supporting documents that obviously back up the proposal. The challenge for us has been that although obviously the RLDP covers the whole area of Barry, not just the Waycock Cross site, but many of those reports, particularly the key strategic reports like the strategic transport assessments, the flooding risk assessments, the environmental impact assessments, those are not specific to our development that we're talking about, Waycock Cross. They cover the whole RLDP area. So in order for us to be able to give any meaningful feedback in consultation, even just on our concerns about the Waycock Cross development, obviously we need to go into those documents, seek out the elements that refer to Waycock Cross in our case, and then respond to them. We certainly feel from what we have looked at in the documentation so far, there are key areas, where there are contradictions or conflicts, with Welsh Government policy or UK policy around planning and development. Those are the things that we're looking to highlight now as part of that process, but the sheer time it takes to be able to do that, for each of the documents is just excessive. There's in excess of 1,000 megabytes worth of PDFs on there. I used the Microsoft Copilot tool just to kind of crunch the numbers, and it came back and said you'd need a team of 7 to 8 people working full time for 30 days in order to review the information and give feedback. And most of us are either, we work full time. Some people have kids. I can't spend 40 hours a week working on this. Obviously, I'm just doing it in my free time as best I can, trying to help the neighbours to do the same thing. So we just feel it. Although it's been portrayed as a democratic consultation process, we just feel it's just essentially a box ticking exercise where the council will get through this 6-week period and move on to the next stage, and we haven't had a chance to give any serious, meaningful feedback.
And whilst this is a consultation around developments over the next coming years, there is obviously a demand for housing in the Vale of Glamorgan. So what's your response to the council and other people who say there is an increased demand for new housing here in the Vale of Glamorgan?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anyone is questioning the need for houses. We're all aware that house building in the Vale, has fallen behind targets for many years now, and we're all aware of the need not only for housing generally, but also for affordable housing particularly. But we just feel that in the case of the Waycock Cross particularly, it's the wrong development in the wrong location. Yes, we do need houses, no question about that. We need houses in the Vale, but not in this way and not on this site. And
finally, what's your message to the Vale of Glamorgan Council, and what would you like to see at this stage?
I just think I just think as residents, we feel that we're not being listened to. We feel that our concerns are not being heard. We've been told to respond specifically to the detail in the documents that are on the consultation website. As I said earlier, we don't feel there is time to do that in any meaningful way. We have approached the council and asked them officially, for an extension of the consultation period to give us that reasonable time to make our representations, and that's been turned down. As far as the council are concerned, then the process is compliant with what's expected of them. So that hasn't been that option hasn't been extended to us. So at the moment, we're just trying to, I guess, do what we can in the short time remaining before the cutoff on the 11th of March just to encourage people to get on the website and give some feedback.
That was Jason Vincent Newson of the Friends of Waycock group. We put the comments raised by the group to the Vale of Glamorgan Council, with its Cabinet Member for Community Engagement, Equalities and Regulatory Services saying that the council recognises that many residents feel strongly about the proposed housing allocation in the northwest side of Barry in the Deposit Replacement Local Development Plan, and we welcome the high level of engagement seen so far. Public participation is an essential part of the planning process, and we're committed to ensuring that all voices are heard. A public consultation on housing growth in Barry was held in summer 2025, including the Waycock Cross site in Barry. All comments were considered and addressed in a consultation report forming part of the Deposit RLDP evidence base. The consultation provides further information on issues raised, including impacts on the strategic highways network and community infrastructure. The council recognises the RLDP and its supporting evidence is extensive due to national legislative and statutory requirements. Technical assessments and supporting documents must be made publicly available as part of the process. To assist residents, the council has published overview documents, including an easy-read version and executive summaries, and residents have had the opportunity to share any feedback through a series of consultation events, with our officers also being available by phone or email if residents require additional support. The RLDP must be prepared in accordance with a delivery agreement, which sets out who will be consulted as part of the process and the timetable for the plan preparation process. The delivery agreement has been approved by Welsh Government, and the 6 weeks timescale for consultation aligns with the delivery agreement and the requirements set out in national planning policy. All responses submitted as part of the consultation will be carefully considered and will form part of the evidence reviewed by an independent planning inspector. We strongly encourage residents to share their views before the close of the consultation on the 11th of March 2026. And you can find out more by searching for Replacement Local Development Plan at valeofglamorgan.gov.uk. Now let's take a look at some of the top local news stories from the past 7 days here in the Vale of Glamorgan with Kay McMahon.
Welsh star Max Boyce MBE and Wales's most capped footballer Jess Fishlock MBE have been celebrated at this year's St David's Awards. Max received the Culture Award in recognition of his decades-long contribution to Welsh life. From his chart-topping albums to his iconic anthem hymns and arias, the Glynneath-born performer has brought Welsh humour and warmth to audiences around the world. Jess Fishlock was honoured with the Sport Award, Wales's first footballer to reach 100 international caps. Jess was instrumental in guiding the Wales's women's national team to their historic first UEFA Euro Championship finals last year. The Vale of Glamorgan Council is set to vote on one of the biggest council tax increases in Wales. The proposed budget includes a 6.5% council tax increase for the 2026-27 financial year. For a Band D property, this is the equivalent to an extra £1.75 per week. This is a greater increase from other Welsh councils such as Swansea at 3.9%, Carmarthenshire at 4.9%, Cardiff at 3.9%, Newport at 4.9%, and Bridgend at 4.95%. The latest data from the Office for National Statistics show that house prices in Wales are rising faster than the UK average. House prices in Wales rose faster than the UK average in 2025, with some areas seeing an increase of 7%. The annual percentage change figures up to December 2025 show that the Vale of Glamorgan has the third highest increase in Wales. Average house prices in the county have risen by 5.2%, with the average price now standing at £300,000. Residents in Cowbridge have banded together to buy a beloved piece of land at auction to save it from future development. According to the Save the Three Fields website, the area known locally as the Three Fields is a historic link between Cowbridge and Llanbethian. The campaign was started by Adrian Griffiths to protect the land from potential housing development and to ensure it remains as it is today for future enjoyment of future generations. The area is not in the Vale of Glamorgan Local Development Plan, which means it is not earmarked for development. The World Health Organization has published a case study feature recognising the Vale 50 Plus Forum's monthly radio show on Bro Radio as an outstanding age-friendly practice and the first and only 50 Plus Forum radio show in Wales. The programme is celebrated as a standout example of community engagement and inclusion for older adults, showcasing how local partnership and innovative communication can strengthen community ties and support support active aging. Hosted on Bro Radio, the radio show was launched in 2023 by the Vale 50 Plus Strategy Forum, supported by the Vale of Glamorgan Public Services Board's age-friendly Vale programme. The show provides a dedicated platform for older residents to share their views, hear from local leaders, including the Older People's Commissioner for Wales, and learn about community events, all while listeners enjoy a carefully curated mix of classic tracks, bringing together information, entertainment and connection.
So you're listening to the Vale This Week from Bro Radio, and it certainly today feels like spring has arrived, and one event going on this weekend is Hope Rescue's Waggy Walk, and Rachel's here from the charity to tell us a little bit about it. Rachel, thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you so much for having me on, Nathan.
So before we look at the event, let's chat about the charity first of all. Tell us a bit about the work of Hope Rescue and what you do as a charity.
Okay, so the Hope Rescue is the leading dog charity in South Wales. We take in the unclaimed strays from about a third of Wales, so it's a pretty big task for us to do. We are an open rescue centre, so we take in the unclaimed stray dogs, irrelevant of their breed, age, and medical condition as well.
And we've been running for a number of years, and one of the key parts in terms of fundraising as well as donations is about doing events. So you've got one coming up this weekend, which is a Waggy Walk, previously a festive Waggy Walk, but obviously rearranged because of the typical December weather.
Lovely weather, yes.
Yeah, so you're back now for this weekend in March. So tell us a little about the event and the idea behind it.
Yeah, so we were hoping to have the festive Waggy Walk in December, but which was our 20th year, but this is our 21st year, so we're kicking off spring with the Waggy Walk in Barry Island this Sunday, the 8th of March. We are hoping for the same weather as we've got today, which would be brilliant and would mean that the event goes ahead as well. If people would like to bring their dog along, they can register on the website or on the actual day from 1 o'clock. And it's a 3-mile circular walk starting from in front of the beach huts at 2 p.m.
And with a lot of these events as well, as a chance for people to come together who've maybe adopted dogs and had dogs for the charity as well, and to be able to connect with others, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. So we've got the Waggy Walk this weekend, and then in a few weeks we've got the spring equinox walk up Pen y Fan, which will hopefully be happening at sunrise. Whether we see the sun or not remains to be seen. But we've also got the Hope Rescue Ball on the 28th of March. That's in the Celtic Manor in Newport, and we've also got the rescheduled Barking Mad, which will be in the beautiful Fonmont Castle at the end of April.
And why are these events so important in terms of raising money for the charity, but also connecting people who kind of support your work?
Yeah, so we don't get any government funding at all. So all the money that we bring into the charity is by fundraising events and also the charity shops, people doing challenges as well. So these events are a great opportunity for us to meet people, to broaden our support base, and also to raise money, but also to meet people with their dogs. And we all have a common love of dogs. It's brilliant to see ex-Hope Rescue dogs at these events, but it's brilliant to see any dogs at them as well.
Well, fingers crossed it's going to be nice weather. If anyone wants to find out more about this event and the work of Hope Rescue, where can they go and find out more information?
Okay, so our main website address is www.hoperescue.org.uk. If you want to keep up to date with all our events, you can subscribe to join our newsletter. It's at the bottom of any page via the website, and the page for all the events we got coming up is www.hoperescue.org.uk/pages/events, and then another / on the end. And we hope to see your listeners at some of these events.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like a busy year for Hope Rescue. Rachel, thanks very much for chatting to us and talking to us about your events.
Thank you so much for having us on, Nathan.
Now let's move on to sport, and with the latest from around the Vale of Glamorgan, here's Jamie Pritchard.
Thanks, Nathan. Let's kick off with football. Barry Town United's win in ways continued last night. They welcomed Penybon to Jenner Park. It was Ian Owen who secured Barry their MG Cup win on Saturday, who scored their only goal of the game in the 58th minute. It sees Barry remain 5th in the Championship, 2 points above Colwyn Bay. There's more on their MG Cup win shortly on the Vale this week. For Lantwick Major, they welcomed Trio and Stars to the Windmill Lane in a thrilling 5-goal game. It was Lantwick who went ahead of half-time, following a goal in the 42nd minute from Thomas Tweedy. Trio and Stars coming back into it in the 51st minute with a goal from Stefan Roberts. In the 69th minute, it was a goal from Jack Bevan that put Llantrwit back ahead. However, 6 minutes later, it was Kristen Davis who scored for Trio in leaving it a draw ahead of the 84th minute, where there was a goal from Cullen Kinsella securing a 3-2 victory for Llantrwit, who currently sit 9th in the table, 4 points ahead of Trio and Stars, but with 2 games in hand. In rugby, a former Barry RFC ladies team player turned girls coach has been recognised as Volunteer of the Year by the Cardiff Rugby Foundation. Steph Williams-Cannon received the award for her commitment to growing the game within the club's girls section. Steph previously played with the Bombettes, but now coaches the under-8 and under-12 girls, seeing the number of girls participating grow in the 2 years since she began coaching. For the Barry men's side in the Admiral League Division 1 East Central, missed chances in the first half proved Barry's downfall against Caerphilly, although second half tries from Barry's front row Chris Brook, Alan Evans and youth captain Rhys Bayans on his senior debut levelled the scores with 3 minutes left. However, it was Caerphilly who hit back to steal a late victory. They won 22-17. For Penarth RFC in Division 1 East Central, tries from Rhys Bayans, Ben Jones, Tom Griffiths, Spencer Robinson and Will Odgers secured a tight win for Penarth with a 32-28 victory against Lanishan on Saturday. Penarth remained second in the table, 4 points behind promotion chasers Llanharan. For Old Penarthians, they failed to pick up vital points in their relegation scrap in Division 5 East Central. They lost as they welcomed Kevin Coyd 34-24. Dinas Paris's relegation battle continues as they welcomed promotion chase St Llandaff in the National League Division 3 East Central in what was an entertaining match. Dinas Paris are currently battling to avoid relegation, which continues after a 45-17 defeat. As always, there's more sports on our website at broradio.fm and with Mike every Monday here on Bro Radio from 7 with Monday Night Sport.
You're listening to the Vale This Week from Bro Radio, and as Jamie mentioned there, Saturday saw Barry Town United lift their first competitive trophy in 26 years after they beat TNS 2-0 at the Dragonbet Stadium on Saturday. Soon, Mike from Monday Night Sport will speak to club general manager Daley Chapman to reflect on the game, but first he spoke to Director of Football Steve Jenkins on the pitch just after the full-time whistle was blown.
It was an incredible performance. I'm so pleased for the chairman. I'm so pleased for Elliot. Hopefully he can put a smile on their faces. So they're going through tough times at the minute. You know, Callum's been through tough times as well. What's happened with him and his dad. It's been tough. All right, but hopefully that will help and help them in terms of their journey. It's not going to be easy. And sometimes, all right, we've won a cup, but sometimes there's more to life as well. And I'm just so pleased. You can see it there now in terms of the fans, but you know, I'm glad we've done it for people who I care about.
And what about the fans? I mean, they've turned out in numbers on a Friday night. Unbelievable.
You know, we got hardcore of around 300 to 400 who are there every week cheering us on. It's a big town. You know, hopefully now this can kick-start us and we can start getting 700-800s, you know, because I think we're a really good football team. I think we play excellent football. And now we've proved now we can compete with anybody. So hopefully some of these fans will come back because it's a great place to be, Barry. Jenner Park, really friendly, good people. Come and support us. Come back, please.
Thank you for talking to us and good luck with the season continuing.
All right. Cheers. Thank
that was Barry Town United manager Steve Jenkins, and I managed to catch him moments after the final whistle. But then I managed to grab a couple of minutes with the Barry Town United chairman, Mark Barrett, and we began by talking about how much this means, the winning the Nathaniel M.G. Chubb Trophy.
Without emotions run too high, absolutely delighted. The boys... When I was diagnosed with my cancer, I met the boys and they promised me they'd bring something to the table, and they left nothing out here today. I don't think it was the game we were fortunate to win. I thought we were really the better side. I'm not just saying that on the chairman of Barry Town, but the boys left nothing out. They left everything on the field today. I couldn't have asked for 11 boys and the lads that come on to do more for the club. And just, you know, for the few, obviously, Carl lost his dad and a few of the others, we've had a lot of bad luck inside the club this year. So this is fantastic, not just for Barry Town football, but for the community of Barry. and it'd be great to see a lot more the people here today turning up to Jenner Park and get a greater crowd. We're really playing some decent football, and hopefully just keep pushing on from here. But like I said, I can't speak highly enough of the players and Steve today, and my family, the support of my family, all the support has been fantastic.
So that was Barry Town United Chairman Mark Barrett. And then I managed to catch up with two of the players. So I managed to catch up with two-goal hero Ian Owen and club captain Callum Sainty. And first I asked Callum about what winning this trophy means.
I was just saying then that we've seen a lot of bad times at the club. I was in a team that was relegated from the Cymru Premier, so to be the captain that lifts the club's first, major trophy in 23 years is something special.
Yeah, and talking about something special, how special are the fans of Barrytown United?
Oh, mate, honestly, they're amazing all year round. Anyway, they've been amazing for a number of years, for the whole time I've been at the club. They travel all over the country with us, and they support obviously well at home. And they were definitely the driving factor tonight for us.
Yeah, definitely. I was in the stands with them, and they definitely felt like the 12th man out on the with you there today. So, Callum, congratulations. I hope this spurs you on for the rest of the season. Yeah. I mean, you're in a really good position in the league as well.
Yeah, definitely. We got to enjoy tonight because they don't happen often, as you pointed out. But yeah, we've got another job to do now, and that's hopefully to push on and qualify for Europe.
Yeah, the fans have been with us for every game, home, away, up north, down south, and the victory is more for the fans than us, because to be fair, wherever we are, they always turn up with good numbers, and tonight they showed.
It did. It felt like a home game at Jenner Park in the stands with them.
Yeah, it was good, but just before the warm-up they were out singing, and to be fair, throughout the game they were non-stop, and it's a pleasure for them.
Well, congratulations, Ian. I'll let you carry on and enjoy the celebrations.
Yes, thank you.
So that was two-goal hero Ian Owen, and before that was club captain Callum Sainty chatting to me, and that was only moments after the final whistle when they were announced as the 2026 Nathaniel MG Cup champions. And if you remember last week, we had club secretary of Barrytown United, that was Daley Chapman. He came in and he did promise to us that if Barry were to lift the trophy, he would bring the trophy into Bro Radio, and he came back in and had a chat with us, bringing that all-important piece of silverware with him. So I'm back here with Daley. Daley, it's been a short week, but there's been lots going on, hasn't there?
It's been one heck of a week, yeah. It's been incredible.
It sure has, and we were down there as well with you on Saturday night as well, and it was absolutely fantastic. And you can see in the studio there, you've come away with a bit of silverware there as well.
We have, and as promised, like I said when we spoke last Monday, if we had the silverware in our hands, I would bring it down to see you all in the studio. So I've kept to that promise. I've brought it down, and we come away with our silverware and our first top flight bit of silverware in 26 years. So everyone around the club is just buzzing at the moment. It's been an incredible weekend, and I don't think I've ever seen so many happy faces, and some happy faces from people I don't think I've ever seen happy faces from.
Oh, it is absolutely fantastic, and it kind of wasn't even a sort of a smash and grab. It was a really dominant performance by Barry.
Yeah, and I think that's the most incredible thing, because I spoke last week, I know I was sat here saying that you've got to enjoy the occasion because you don't know what's going to happen, and that you've got to give the new Saints the respect they deserve because, they've won as many league titles and as many cups as they have because they are phenomenal. However, I just think when it got to Saturday, I think everything just felt right for us, and the players were exceptional, and I think in the whole game TNS only had 2 shots on target. Don't quote me on that, but it felt like we ran over them, and that doesn't usually happen. And I say that with full respect to the new Saints, because our lads were just incredible. They started at minute 1 and finished at minute 97, and just carried on running. And it'd be interesting to see the distance they covered, because I wouldn't be shocked if someone like Ian Owen put in at least 12k on that pitch, because there was some distances put in. And like I said, it was a dominant performance, and we really didn't allow the New Saints to have a moment to get into the game, really. Obviously, they had moments in the game where they looked really strong. They're always going to, because of the amount of quality they've got. But we looked equally as strong, and they never looked like, from the minute we were into the game and the minute we got the first goal, they never looked like they were going to come back and trouble us, which is very unlike a New Saints side. So full respect to them, but like you said, it was a heck of a performance from the lads, and we couldn't be prouder of them, if I'm honest.
That was Daley Chapman, Club General Manager at Barry Town United, speaking to Mike on this week's edition of Monday Night Sport. You can listen again to the full programme by clicking Listen Again at broradio.fm. You're listening to The Vale This Week from Bro Radio. Now, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, or anything in between, an event that first took place in 2024 is returning to Barry this May. Barry Card and Collecticon will take place at the Memo Arts Centre, and earlier this week I caught up with one of the organisers, Glyn, to tell us a little bit more. Glyn, firstly, thank you for coming in and chatting to us about Barry Card and Collecticon. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting me in, Nathan. I appreciate it.
So, we'll remember this event from 2 years ago now, starting off at the Memo Arts Centre. Take us back and how kind of that event first came about.
So, 2024, I mean, that seems a long time away, but that was done with a group of friends who wanted to put together a Comic-Con in Barry. I think we've always said that Barry lends itself very well to wanting an event like this. There's a lot of people that want to meet famous people, and it's been location for a lot of Doctor Who and other things being filmed. So we decided to put one on, and yeah, it was extremely successful. I think everybody who went there, you yourself was there included, and we just had a lot of kickback asking about when the next one was going to be.
And now we're 2 years later, having a gap last year, now back in Barry at the Memo Arts Centre this May. So tell us about preparations for this year's event, first of all.
So this year's event, we wanted it to be different. We wanted it to be bigger and better. So we started. Within the gap year, we started the idea of just rebranding, because we wanted it to be more, again, we just wanted to be more Barry based. So what we did was we decided to rebrand as the Barry Card and Collecticon, or B3C as we're going to know as a catchy title for it. Our intention is to do one every year. And we wanted to go bigger and better. So even though we're still at the same location as the Memo, which is a great place to do the con anyway, and they're super helpful. We reached out to some guest stars that are really, really, punching above our weight. These are the guest stars you'd see in Cardiff or London or any of the other Comic Cons, and we've got them in Barry.
And there's a great mix there. You've got people from Red Dwarf, Doctor Who, kind of working behind the scenes, artists as well. And of course, a guest from Gavin and Stacey. So a wide range of people with varying different interests.
That was exactly that. That was the point. We wanted it to be eclectic. I mean, we've got people, like, for example, we've got Hugo Mayat, from anybody who's Gen Xer like myself, who remembers the 80s, and the 80s was a nightmare, which was always done on green screen. And, you wore that, the hat, the helmet, where, where kids were controlling the, one of the kids. Basically, Hugo Mayat, who played Tragar, he's coming along, and he's he's what we call a deep cut, but a welcome one, because there are a lot of people out there who are still fans and who are fans of that genre. So yeah, we've got some amazing guests and some brilliant artists as well.
And for this as well, more than just the special guest, there's lots of things going on around it as well. So it's not just the special guests. There's lots of activities and things to do, to buy, to see, to get involved in.
Exactly. So where we're trying to differ from other conventions is that we want it to be a very community-based as well. So we've got a lot of Barry traders that are turning up, people. We've got some authors that are Barry-based. Events-wise as well, we've got Dinomania turning up on Sunday. Only there will be dinosaurs walking around the Memo, whether it's the big or the large ones or the small ones. We will have face painters. There'll be cosplayers and cosplay competition. And there will be some other little activities to be announced. But all in all, we want to make sure that when you go there, there's a lot for you to see and do.
So it's all taking place on the 16th and 17th of May. You mentioned the Memo Arts Centre. How can people find out more, get tickets and everything else?
So you can get the tickets to you can go one or two places. You can either go directly to the Memo themselves and get tickets for the both days. So it's £20 for one day. If you want to do the weekend, it's 30. So you go to the Memo Arts Centre's website. You can go to their socials, or you can and go directly in there and pick them up from the box office. Or the other way of doing it as well is go to Fatsuma, which is the online ticket portal. On that portal, you can get although you can get the tickets, you can also get the guests' photo opportunities. So what I mean by that is we are offering, the ability to have your photo taken with a guest. And what will happen, as like other conventions like London, you can get a ticket and have your photo opportunity, with whatever guest that you want from the roster.
And for maybe someone who's listening who's maybe not come to an event like this, maybe is a fan of Red Dwarf or Doctor Who, never been to one before, what can they expect? Why should they come along?
So the good thing with these events, there's a lot of like-minded people like you. So if ever, if you're and I use this term loosely, geek, or if you're into anything sci-fi, or even if you've never been to one before and you thought, well, I don't really want to travel to Cardiff or any of the other events, Barry is the one, because it's a good starting place, because we offer a lot more things to do. We offer the trade-ins, our traders, but also you can go and meet the guests. I mean, they offer autographs and selfies again, at their own cost. They will obviously charge you, but the good thing is you can meet them there, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of interaction during the day, like there was in 2024.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure it's set to be a great event. It was back in 2024. Glyn, thanks for coming in and chatting to us about Barry Card and Collecticon.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Nathan.
Right, let's have a look at what's going on in and around the Vale of Glamorgan over the next 7 days with the latest. Here's Gareth Richards.
The Vale Youth Service are opening a new youth club in St Athan starting this Thursday for 11 to 17-year-olds, taking place at the Gathering Place in St Athan, running from 6 until 8 p.m, where there'll be free activities including sport, arts and crafts, cooking, games and much more. For more info, email valeyouthservice@valeofglamorgan.gov.uk. Barry Brass Band are holding a spring concert from 7 to 9 p.m. at St Mary's Church on Halton Road in Barry on Friday. Entry is £5 on the door, and all proceeds go towards the preservation of St Mary's, All Saints, Merthyr Devon and St Cadoc's churches. For details of the Barry Brass Band, visit barrybrassband.org.uk. If you've got something that needs fixing, visit the Repair Cafe at Barry Library on King Square on Saturday from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m, where a team of volunteers will fix your stuff for free, and everyone is welcome. Head to Penarth Pier Pavilion on Saturday and Sunday for an arts and crafts market. The event runs from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m, and entry is free. Dinis Powys Wild About Nature are organising a litter pick on Sunday. Meet in the Tesco car park, bring gardening gloves and wear boots or good shoes, and you'll be helping to keep the community safe for wildlife and a pleasant place for residents. The event starts at 2 p.m. and runs for approximately an hour. Search for Dinis Powys Wild About Nature for further details. Hope Rescue is holding a Waggy Walk on Sunday. Take part in a 3-mile picturesque circular dog walk around Barry Island, starting and finishing by the colourful beach huts on Whitmore Bay from 2 p.m. Registration opens at 1 p.m. and is £8 per dog, including a free bandana. For further details, visit hoperescue.org.uk. And finally, drop in to the Baby and Toddler Group at the Gathering Place in St Athan from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. on Monday. It's £3 per family, including tea and coffee, biscuits and snacks for the little ones. Activities include arts and crafts, a baby corner, a large selection of toys, singing and story time. For more information, visit thegatheringplacestathathan.org.uk.
And that was the Vale This Week from Bro Radio. If you've got a story that you want to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@broradio.fm, or you can find us on social media. Thanks for listening as ever, and you can join us next Wednesday from 7 on Bro Radio, or search for the Vale This Week wherever you get your podcasts.